journalistic background when I came to the Sufis in editing, and because of that I was put in charge of the diaries and archives of Murshid Samuel Lewis, which were in paper at the time. They were somewhat disorganized. And they just said, Saadi, go in there and do something. And I began to rummage through things with an eye first to see what's there, and then also I later put together a book of sort of Murshid Samuel Lewis's life in his own words, through his writings, letters, diaries. The book is called Sufi Vision and Initiation. In that process, I found a letter where Samuel Lewis says, I want to start 2 revolutions before I die. The first revolution is to start the dances of universal peace. He did that. The second revolution, he says, is to pray the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. He didn't do that, although he talks about Aramaic, but he didn't do that. So, as a young murid, this was in 1977, 78 or something, I was sort of one of those moments. This was like, oh, that could be something. And Reb Zalman was still coming around at the time to the Sufis a lot in the California Bay Area. And I said, so Reb Zalman, do you know anything about Lord's Prayer in Aramaic, Jesus' prayer in Aramaic? He says, yeah, I can send you something. And so he sent me a transliteration of the Aramaic into English characters, of course. And I began to sort of, really without asking anyone, sort of work with them, intone them, breathe them, like you would. And on a retreat, on a kilvat, as it's called, as I was doing this intoning and not really knowing it, I knew a little bit of Arabic at the time. I'd studied Arabic just to get the pronunciation. I had been raised with different languages in my childhood, so it wasn't like a crazy thing. So I was just intoning it, and my body began to move with the sounds and feeling feelings I hadn't felt before, and without emphasizing the whole experience. It was a visionary experience, you could say. It was a hall, and halls come, halls go. Hall is an expanded state. And so I came home and I said to my then wife, I don't know, maybe I'm going crazy. I was hearing voices, and Jesus said, do this. Here's a melody, and do this with people, and here are movements. And she said, oh, well, I don't know, maybe you're crazy, but try it out with people. So I did. And sort of it started from there with these movements and chanting through the prayer of Jesus, the Lord's Prayer.